Hello and welcome to the 15th video that I'll be posting in my Unity platformer tutorial series. And in today's video, our main goal is to actually program the main camera to move following the player. And this can be done easily without any script. And this can be done by using Unity's pre-made script already, and it's called Cinemachine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open or click Windows here, go to our package manager, and inside of package manager, we can see that if you scroll down to Cinemachine, there is a Cinemachine and it is created by Unity, and all you need to do is you click install. So pause the video right now and click install and come back once you've done. Okay, so once you've downloaded the Cinemachine, it's gonna directly call out a component here in the top, and it's called Cinemachine. As you can see, before we only had file, edit, assets, game object, component, and Windows and help. And now we have a Cinemachine right on top. And what you're gonna directly do is you're gonna click on Cinemachine, and it's actually used for camera, which is really awesome. How Unity already provides a free camera script for all of the developers that make Unity. And what you're gonna do is, since we're in the 2D world, we're gonna click on Create 2D Camera. Okay, and basically it directly make a script which a lot of functions here, and it directly connects with our main camera here. As you can see, the Cinemachine brain. So basically our camera is now controlled by our Cinemachine, and it's gonna ask us for, as you can see here, status live, game window. We're not gonna touch anything about this. It asks us for something to follow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drag our player because we want our camera to focus on our player. And now if we click on play here, we can see that when we move, our camera actually follows. But there is also another main problem, and that's the fact that when we click on play, it zooms so far away, right? And that can be done by clicking the lens here. And as you can see, the orthographic size is 10. If we click on 6 here, we change it to 6 here, and we click play, you can see that now it's in the normal size once more. And we want it to be this size because we want it to be able to zoom in our player and still focus on and having our old player looks. And we're done. Okay, and now there are also other features like the body here. In the body we can see that there's look ahead time, look ahead smooth, look ahead ignored, X damping, Y damping, Z damping, screen X, screen Y, camera distance, dead zone width, dead zone height, dead zone depth, and many more. And what we're gonna do, or what I'm gonna focus, is I'm gonna try to explain to you all of these features. So if you click play right now, we can actually experiment with the Cinemachine. So basically, look ahead time is something that you use so that, as you can see, when we click on move here, the camera, or the dot here where the camera focus on, will look ahead of time, so that when we're moving left and right, the camera also shifts in a large impact. And sometimes giving high look ahead time is bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tone this up a little bit to 0.2. I usually use 0.2 because I don't want to give or have drastic camera changes, but at the same time be able to let the people see the movement. Okay, I guess 0.12. 0.12 is good enough. And then look ahead smooth is basically like a additional feature for look ahead time, and it's basically going to help transition the look ahead time. And I don't actually like to change look ahead smooth because 10 is usually already a good amount. And X and Y damping. So essentially, X and Y damping is a feature in a Cinemachine camera so that the transition when moving left to right is much slower or faster. And I usually do one because it's already a good amount. And screen X and screen Y here. So screen X is the position of the camera, and 0.5 is already center, and I want it to stay that way, so I don't want to change anything about that. And dead zone width here is the important part, and dead zone width is essentially like the space where the player can move before actually moving the camera. And when it reaches the dead zone space or exceeds the dead zone space, and I can show you by actually turning off my, give me a sec, I gotta turn off my background renderer so that you guys can see properly. Okay, so let's click on play again. And dead zone space here, if you see, let me just increase the height here, is essentially the space where the player can move before the camera actually follows. And as you can see, if I jump here, I exceed a little bit and it moves up a little bit. And if I go to the left here, and if I go to the left and right, and it basically only moves once that dot exceeds the line or exceeds the zone. I usually like to have a little bit space for the player to run because it can help not change a lot of the camera movement. It's actually all up to your preference as the game developer. This is all modifiable and customizable. And what I usually like to do is I have 0.5 here. I usually have 0.5. That's a lot. I usually have this much space and the height is 0.16. So 0.26 and 0.28. Okay. This is all customizable and up to your preference, game developer. But this is just my experience and this is the way I want it to be. Okay, so now I can move freely here in the space before I exceed the zone and move the camera. Okay, and then we go to our extensions here. In our extensions part, there is add extension and it asks us to select something. And what I'm going to do is actually going to click back the background so we can see the background once more. So what we're gonna do is actually add a Cinemachine confiner, and then the Cinemachine confiner is basically going to act as a boundary shape where the camera cannot exceed that space. And to do that, we can simply go to our background and create a polygon collider 2D, right? We want to make sure that it's a trigger so that it won't actually collide with the player. And then what we want to do is we want to zoom into the edge of the map so that we can get the accurate position. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, and there you go. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So we want the 100% accurate position. And I'm gonna speed things up because this will take a while. Okay, so once you've done that, you go to our CMV1 and drag our non-collider to background here, and then it's gonna directly go to our background polygon. And then now if we click on play, we are not we are going to click on our main camera so that we avoid that view. And then however, if we actually do click play, now our camera won't change the view or go outside the background boundaries, and this is all thanks to our Cinemachine confiner. So I think that's it for today's video actually, guys, because I only want to show you about the Cinemachine and how it works and how there are other components of Cinemachine. And I guess that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, you can understand more about Unity platformer making, and I'll see you in the next video.